You're listening to Trek FM.
Hello and welcome to From There to Here, Trek FM's 50th anniversary rewatch project, where network hosts get together and discuss all 729 episodes of Star Trek. I'm Suzanne Williamson, and with me again is...
Hi, I'm Tony Robinson.
Today we're going to be talking about two Voyager episodes, the first one being Shattered. Voyager encounters an energy field which leaves each section and its crew existing in a different time period. What do you think about this one, Tony?
I like it. I love these time jump type episodes, you know. They're fun to do. Chakotay finds himself able to walk around the ship, but as he passes through various corridors and down and up turbo lifts, he finds himself entering into different time periods in the ship's history. It comes to light when he enters onto the bridge, and immediately Captain Janeway wants to arrest him. Why, he wonders? Well, because he's a Maquis. And he thinks, well, hold on a moment, that was 7 years ago. And Janeway is all, what? What the heck are you talking about? So, yeah, I like this episode because he persuades Janeway to come with him and see what's going on. And they bump into Seska, the Kazon, 7 of 9 when she was still a Borg.
The macrovirus.
The macrovirus, and Icheb and Naomi Wildman when they're older, which is great. And it was a whole lot of fun going from deck to deck.
Oh, yeah.
The dock doesn't have a hollow emitter. What's a hollow emitter? You get that next year. What?
Tell me more about this.
Yes, I like it, yeah. So there was a lot of fun. Oh, and Captain Proton and Arachnia. And everybody was black and white. Chaotica. It was just great. I loved it.
Oh, yeah. This to me is Voyager's version of a clip show. You know how most shows in the 80s and 90s had clip shows when they didn't produce a new one. They just sat down around the table and said, oh, remember that time? This sort of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And
then
it
was
sort
much
of
more
segued
intelligent.
into...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then it sort of segued into Catherine Janeway. This is your Delta Quadrant life.
Yeah. What do you mean, the Delta Quadrant? We're not going there.
Did
what do you
say
mean?
Delta Quadrant?
I think the get out of all of these things is that when we fix this thing and we'll all go back to where we were and our memories will be wiped
remember.
and nobody will have a clue what just the hell happened. And I'm thinking, oh no, that's so sad. But the thing is
I don't think it was totally true.
Oh, which bit don't you think was true?
I think Captain Janeway kept some of the memories. Or else how would she know that Chakotay kept the cider in the cargo bay?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, not that she cares about the Temporal Prime Directive at all anyway.
Yeah,
because she said to hell with the Temporal Prime Directive, which I think foreshadowed what is going to come in Endgame.
Yeah.
With Admiral Janeway.
Hey, good call on that one. I was just seeing it for what it was, but I just don't like it when they have this kind of sew it up neatly at the end and nobody can remember a thing. They've all been through, and it's happened before in other episodes of Trek, you know, where things have happened and they've all come back and what just happened, and you know, when Captain Picard went off and had an entire life in the space of 19 minutes on TNG. I'm not sure it was 19 minutes, but you know. So there's elements of that, but why they have to wipe people's memories? Well, I guess it obviously is to do with the timeline.
I mean, I enjoyed this episode mostly for the Janeway-Chakotay interaction. Being a JC shipper at heart, I got to see everything that I loved about that relationship. They were flirting again.
Yeah.
It was just like old times. It made me so happy. And then finding out from Icheb and Naomi that they died together, I was like, yes, they were together. till the very end.
But that's only
Still made me
from
happy.
Egypt and Naomi's point of view in that particular
I
timeline.
know.
Yeah.
I know,
So-
but then I also have a theory about why Chakotay told her that there were some barriers that they don't cross.
Yes.
I think he was trying not to break the temporal prime directive. He
Yeah.
didn't want to tell her the truth that, yes, they crossed those barriers.
Yes, I was
Even though
wondering
we
what
don't
he
see
was
it on
going to
screen.
say. So she was being very coy. She said, well, how far did we go? Or to that effect.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. So I guess that brings us on to Lineage.
It does.
Synopsis is B'Elanna is strangely disturbed by her unborn child's Klingon traits. I have a very large issue with this episode that I did not have when I first watched it when it aired. They say quite a few times that Tom and B'Elanna weren't sure if they were going to be able to have kids because of her being part Klingon and all of the genetics involved in that. So, yes, they get pregnant. And she immediately tries to alter her child. This didn't used to bug me, but my husband and I have been battling infertility. And in the past 6 months, we've suffered a miscarriage.
Oh, dear.
For her to take those chances and possibly making the alterations and losing the baby, I just don't understand that. So this was a very difficult episode for me to get through.
I could see that, and instinctively, I could understand that some people watching this were probably going, what the hell are you guys doing? What kind of a script is this? I'm not really sure what kind of answers it was trying to give. Okay, on one level, you've got a person who's having issues with her past. There are some behavioral issues. There's some unhappiness because her dad left when she was a child. So she grew up in a broken marriage. And there are lots of people out there who've had to go through that. And you can intelligently play that, and we've seen it played over and over again on different episodes of any other program you care to mention. And it's been done sensitively and whatever. But this is the genetic mutation of a child to satisfy the hurt, or to rectify the hurt that she's feeling inside over some other issue at the expense of the life of a child. And I can see where you're coming from. That in itself, when it's played as entertainment, may not be coming across the way the writers intend it to be, because that's a difficult tale to tell, and to tell it sensitively.
Yeah.
So I got that too, and I get where you're coming from on this episode. It's a difficult episode to watch. It's a difficult, particularly if they're trivializing everything. If it's just anger issues with B'Elanna and a misunderstanding, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. And given the fact that, going back to B'Elanna when she was originally on the first season of Voyager, when she was more Klingon than she was human, and then she had that split, and then she kind of came back, and now she's a...
When the Vidian split her up.
Yeah, that's right. And she's a softer kind of person with a bit of a Klingon look, but more of a human look. Why she'd have this issue with her DNA, which is now going to be part of a new child, is one thing. But I understand where you're coming from in that. Yeah, how they tell the tale was a very difficult thing to do.
I mean, I can understand it. She went through some tough things as a child. We all have. We've all been bullied by kids. Kids are mean.
Yeah.
They are. They'll call you names.
Yeah.
But everybody goes through that. That's no reason to go ahead and say, well, I don't want my child to go through this, so I'm just going to alter their DNA.
Yeah.
That just, it seems excessive to me.
It was.
To take it to that point.
It was extreme it was extreme, to say the least.
And then to alter the doctor's program.
Yeah. Yeah. How the idea came about, who was behind it, what instigated it, who made it possible for this storyline to carry through. That's an interesting question in itself. But somebody somewhere sanctioned it and said, "Yeah, that's good enough. Let's go. Let's roll with that." But I don't know. Did they think it through? I don't know.
Probably not fully.
Yeah. So we're not going to come away from this episode feeling too good about it. It's just another episode of Star Trek, but did they trivialize an issue that didn't need to be trivialized? That's the burning question. Yeah. So
I did enjoy the Doctor becoming Moral's godfather. I liked that. Instead of, Neelix, who already has Naomi, Harry, who is helpless, Chakotay, who knows nothing about children. So I thought it was a nice gesture to make the Doctor Moral's godfather. Well, we've reached the end of our block, Tony.
We have.
But we need to remind everyone once again where they can find you on the internet.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. Well, I can be found on the Babel Conference. I do chip in from time to time. I make a wry comment here, a little intelligent comment there, a laugh here, a cry there, a cry for help. And I can also be found on an occasional podcast that I put out called Star Trek Weekly News. I have my own website. It's called, you'll find it at stwn.uk. So that's worth a look. There's some interesting stuff on there.
You can find me lurking about the Babel Conference occasionally. You can also find me on Trek FM on To the Journey, talking more Voyager, with my co-hosts Zachary and Kay. And then you can also find me on Twitter at KJaneway8. That's the letter K, Janeway, and the number 8. And tomorrow you're going to have 2 new hosts. So thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of From There to Here.